All right, everyone, take your seats, calm down now. Live at you from the Wood Splitter. Many of you might not know what the Wood Splitter is all about, but I think it's been in a video before. It's a future project. Subscriber NUB Anthony Richardson, well, he might know because he watched every single YouTube video that the Spruce Stomper channel had to offer in a row, in order. Can you believe that? Cheers to you, my friend. What a fantastic feat, and man, do we appreciate it. So I'm sitting out here. Why? Well, because I had a bit of a thought. And no hat. You see that? Haircut. I don't really know how to comb it, but this is the best we can do. I keep the beard. Why do I keep the beard? Well, I'll give you the same answer I give everybody, because it's one of the few things that I can do still and enjoy for free, is grow a beard. Try and tax my beard. Good luck. They'll figure out a way. Tipping. Well, I got a haircut, so a tip is implied. But something happened. Ooh, that went against my grain. It went against my grain, ruffled my feathers. I just want to say I really appreciate all of you that watch the videos, leaving comments, clicking the thumbs up button, the whole 9 yards. The feedback we got on the logo, I'll tell you, wow, my wife's heart swole. She blushed from the compliments because she is the fine gal behind the design of the Spruce Stomper logo. Anyways, get the haircut on a whim. I was returning a concrete saw, and I thought, man, I got a few seconds. And on the way through the local neighborhood on the way to my house, barbershop, which I appreciate because I like to have a little conversation while I'm getting my hair cut. That part didn't disappoint. I get done with the haircut. Don't even get me started on what a haircut costs, because trust me, it costs enough. Actually, well, let's talk about it. It's went up and up and up and up and up, as everything. And I got no problem with that, because the lady that owns the barber shop, she's local. She's not rich. She lives in a modest home like I do. They work regular jobs. She's trying to make a living, and she's keeping several other people employed. So, hats off to her. But she's had to raise rates because wages go up. They just raised minimum wage in the province of British Columbia. For those of you that don't know me, Canada is where I reside, and we're split up into provinces. The province of British Columbia, I'll tell you, if you want to pay tax, you move to British Columbia. We're like the California of Canada. If there's a way to tax it, we'll figure it out. So rates have went up. Circling back to the thought with Scott topic here, tipping. Parched. A tip in certain professions is implied. My personal opinion, a tip should never be expected. I'm not old enough, or I'm not young enough, or am I old enough, however you want to view it, to remember a time when the tip was a show of appreciation for the value of service that you received. It was not expected. It was not an expectation, a mandatory thing. So here's what happened, and this really boiled me. I'll tell you, because I was having a lovely conversation with the two gals that were working. One cut my hair, the other one's cleaning up her station. We're having a pleasant conversation, which I appreciate because it's part of the service. She did a top shelf job, and I'm happy to give a tip. And I'm talking, I don't mind, even though we're at the upper threshold of what I think the valuation of this haircut is worth, because I was only there for, well, if I was there 10 minutes, I was lucky, and only 7 of that was actually spent cutting hair, because I'll tell you, if you see the sheen every time I bend over, I'm getting less and less of it to cut. The going rate now is $28 for a men's haircut at this barbershop. Nothing to do with the facial hair. She didn't touch the beard. They trim your eyebrows. They cut your hair. $28. Okay. So I get up out of the chair, and I'm still talking. I'm engaged in conversation. This is where I slipped up. I should have been paying attention. You hang on to your wallet, as they say. I says, what do I owe you? She says, $30. So I take out 40, give it to her. She's giving it back to me. And it was at this moment in the transaction. Are you admiring the wood splitter? I'll tell you. I'm looking forward to it. It was at this moment in the transaction that I realized what had happened. By my own ignorance, I had been duped, and I have a hard time blaming the gal for doing what she did. But she said $30, and the sign on the wall says a haircut's $28. So this is riddled with problem, in my opinion. I'm going to keep doing this. I got a bad habit of doing this all the time with dirty hands from work, so my hair sticks straight up and look like a crazy person. One, she automatically added the tip for herself. Not appropriate. Not appropriate, not a good reflection of the business owner. Not a good reflection of her personal character, in my opinion. The tip is not an automatic thing. It is not an expectation. It is a tip. It is a gratuity. They call it a gratuity for a reason. And I'm of the mindset, and maybe this rubs people the wrong way, if you are in need of more money, then you are in need of a different means or a different profession, or you need 2 jobs or a side hustle. I know things are tough, but you think things are tough for you. Well, how do you know things aren't tough for me? I got mouths to feed. I certainly don't hand in invoices for construction that's down there waiting for a tip. But I understand certain professions bring a tip, and traditionally always have. But when you automatically add your own tip, and it's my own fault, I could have said something, but in the moment I didn't, and then I didn't want to embarrass the young lady, so I went on. But she sold herself short, because I would have tipped more than $2. Because of the experience that I had there. She was real friendly. The other lady was friendly. I respect the woman that owns the establishment, so I got no problem with keeping and supporting that local business. But now you added it on yourself, and I'll tell you, I'm not inclined to go back. I probably will, and I won't. You don't make a big deal. You let things go, but it's not appropriate. And you sold yourself short, because instead of $2, because I paid with real money, cash. Remember cash? You guys remember what it looks like? If you don't, Canada, just think of Monopoly money. That's what it looks like, basically. Whoever thought it was a good idea to have the fucking host of colors, rainbow whatevers. Anyways, I would have given her more. So she sold herself short, implied the tip herself, and, come on. I think tipping should just be outlawed. Done. Just done. Especially the mandatory. I don't tip. If it's added on automatically, you're going to hear from me. Okay? Are you so sure in your business that the service automatically deserves a tip? Because I'm not even that sure. And I'm my only employee. It's only me, and I wouldn't automatically add a tip if I was in that line of work. Because when you go to a restaurant or you get a haircut, you tip based on the experience. I think there's a general basis of expectation that the service is going to be good. I want my food to come out in a timely manner, and I want the food to be decent, and I want the person that's serving me to be courteous and polite. These are just rules of human decency. So why would those basic things require me to pay you more money? And as a business owner, you should have a clear policy in place for these things, because it gets out of hand. It just gets out of hand. And at some point, there's just not any more to go around. I always have had this feeling about tipping. I'm not anti-tipping. I wouldn't say, when I say outlaw it, I mean get a policy around it and get all your employees to follow it so you're all on the same page. Pay the people so they're making a wage that they can are happy with. Even that. What does that even mean? Oh, I'm not happy with it. I want to work a minimum wage job, reliant on tips. Now I'm getting rained on. And I'm going to decide that's not enough money. So I'm also going to require tips to make up the difference. Well, I hate to break it to you. That's not a good strategy on your part, right? It's not going to work. We got to get back in action here. Okay. Onto the eve of the roof. There we go. So, if ends aren't meeting and tips are what you think is going to make or break the day, I hate to tell you, but it's not. It's not. And I have had friends and family and stuff that make really good money on tips. And I think you can make really good money on tips. I mean, if you're a server in a pub or something like that, and you're outgoing and charismatic and all this sort of thing, there's no automatic gratuity added onto a bill at a pub. But if you got a mover and a shaker that's hustling to make money, they're going to make money in tips because people want to give that money. You know, especially if they're lubricated with a few beers, doesn't hurt. But can we just get rid of this automatic tipping? You know, the parties over a certain number, automatic gratuity. Excuse me? Excuse me? I'm doing that thing where I'm not looking at the camera lens as well, so it looks like I'm weirdly talking over here. I understand that's usually in a chain restaurant and all this sort of thing, but if you sat down with the CEO of these companies and said, are you kidding me? Parties over a certain number, automatic gratuity? How about no? How about you're running a business, you got employees, that's on you. That's your business. You manage it. And you deal with it. Because I mean, if you can price the menu, you can price the haircut, price it accordingly, so your profit margins are where they need to be. So as a business, you're making it, and you know, pay your employees what's fair. And if that's not enough money for that employee, well, I don't know what to tell you. Tough bananas, man. Anytime I ever found myself in life not making enough money, I figured out a way to make more money. Automatic tipping. Got me torqued up. She didn't mean nothing ill by it. I think what probably happened is that she cuts a lot of people's hair in a day. And they don't tip. And maybe she gets tired of it. But maybe that's a reflection on the service you're giving. I don't know the exact scenario, nor am I trying to speak to a certain individual. I'm saying in general, if you provide a service that people appreciate, they'll show that back, but being presumptuous about it, probably not a great idea. Anyways, I'm sure somebody will disagree with me, and I'm probably wrong on part of it, right? I mean, I don't understand every business structure, but all I know is those of us that put ourselves out there are friendly, work hard, seek opportunity, things generally work out better. And if you make assumptions and you're trying to chisel people out of $2 and $3 at a time, it's not a long-term solution for business. It's not a long-term personal finance solution. It's just not a solution. So get your hands out of my pocket is what I'm trying to say. Man, I'll tell you. Between you and the government, people looking for tips, don't even get me started on places that have a tip jar. You know, fast food restaurant, tip option, get real. Okay? If it's a McDonald's and you're basically just spoon and feed into the trough for the masses, that don't bring a tip. Here's a tip. Learn the skill set, get everything you can out of the minimum wage job, work your way up, and you move on to greener pastures. That was always the point of the minimum wage job. It will always continue to be the point of the minimum wage job. To introduce people to the workforce, get them a skill set, move them on down the road, and become enterprising, you know, young men and women. That's all there is to it. You know, find ways to make money. Tips ain't it. If I was better looking, I would maybe consider, or would have considered at some point, being a waiter. Oh, let's face it, you guys have watched my video. You don't want me handling your food. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. You're a fine bunch of folks. I don't know what the next adventures be. Oh, that's not true. I do know what the next adventure is going to be, and it's going to be fun. So stay tuned, and we'll get to it.